Hello, so many of you who watch my channel will know that when I'm out taking photographs, I try pretty hard to get everything right in camera, as in front to back sharpness, for instance, and sometimes that's just not possible. Um, so there's a technique called focus stacking, and I've taken some images the other day uh, of a small river with the little waterfalls, and it was I struggled to get everything sharp, and ended up using an f-stop of 20, which is pretty high up there and may even introduce some diffraction. It's not the best aperture uh, in most lenses. They usually tend to be around 2 steps up from wide open. So f4 lens would probably be at its best around f8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load a couple of photographs here. I'm going to put them into, take them from Lightroom, put them into Photoshop, stack them, and then take them back into Lightroom and then edit the final image where everything is sharp. So let's just get started. Okay, so as you can see, I've got this image here, and it's a relatively nice image, but it's straight out of the camera. And I took several photographs of this scene here, and in one photograph I focused down in this area, in the next photograph I focused in this area, the next area I focused in, next photograph in this area, and then in the next photograph I focused up here. So I get sharp and a sharp image all the way right through, and some of the grasses have moved and that sort of thing, or with gusts of wind. So what I'm going to do is I've got the 4 photographs down here, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to focus stack them in Photoshop. So the first thing you need to do is open the image obviously in Lightroom. You go to the Photo tab and go down and go to Edit In. Scroll across and go to Open as Layers in Photoshop. So when Photoshop opens up, it will start bringing in the different layers, and you can see them over here as they pop in. 4 photographs, 4 layers. And the first thing you need to do is in Photoshop is you select all the layers. You then go up to Edit. You go down to Auto Align Layers, and make sure the auto is selected. Click OK, and it will now align all the hard edges to give you an image that will line up perfectly, or hopefully. As you can see, there was a tiny little bit of movement. You can see that edge is not quite visible. Okay, so after you've done that, you go up again to the Edit, and you go down to Auto Blend Layers, and what you want to make sure is that Stack Images is selected. So it's selected. Seamless tones and colors, content aware, fill, transparent areas. I usually select them also. So click OK, and what you'll see then is over here you'll start to see the masks being drawn up, and because that content aware fill was selected, that open edge is now being filled in automatically. And as you can see, you've got most of it sharp here, filled in some of the areas, most of it sharp there, and then from the very last one up here you can see some is being filled in. So what you then do is you would then go to Layer, Flatten Image, and then you can just close it. It will ask you if you want to save it. You click Save Yes. It's now saved. You can close Photoshop, and there's your 4 images, and there's your 5th image, final image. So there's your final image, and you can check it here. That's nice and sharp, 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 and sharp. Bearing in mind that this is 100%. That's how you do it. And then all you need to do now is just edit the photograph. So for this photograph here, I deliberately left it a little bit dark, because when I do brighten up the exposure, I don't want to brighten the areas that are already white. I could go here and select color balance. However, sometimes I find, so if I go here and go to auto, then that's the colors that I'm going to get, and that's pretty good. But what I usually do is I usually select this here to get the white balance, select an area that's white, and that's too magenta. So I would bring that down just like that, and I would be pretty comfortable with that. I quite like that. As far as editing it, what I'm going to do with this here, I don't like that this is a little bit too dark and this area here is a little bit dark, so I'm going to brighten them up. And how I'm going to do that is use the radial gradient tool. So I'll select the radial gradient tool. I'll just put that there, bring that in a little bit, and take away that. And then what I'll do is I'll just brighten up that area a little bit, not too much. And then I'm happy with that. I just leave that there, and then I'll bring in another one, another radiant gradient tool, and I'll put it over here on this edge. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to brighten up this area a little bit again, very slightly, just raise that exposure like that. Click OK, and I'm quite happy with that, because now what I'll do is I'll go down, I will use the dehaze slightly, I will use vibrance to bring out those greens, just a little bit, saturation, very small amount, and then I'll go down and I'll check sharpness. So let's check on this area here. So let's see how sharp this is. Now bearing in mind that this water is moving, take it up to there, and just bring it up to about there and reduce some noise. Scroll down, and I like to have a vignette on my images, so we'll just bring that down slightly, not too much. And as you see over here in the right hand side, it's no longer, it's dark. It's probably about as dark as it was previously, but had I not lightened this area up and then added the vignette, this area would have just been too dark. So that's pretty much the process. It's a nice image. Very happy with it. If you have found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks very much, and bye bye.